This is me, Neeraj Malia, and I have been doing digital marketing from past 3 years. So today we want to talk about how a digital marketing process works. So we have noticed that many of the people knows what SEO is, many of the people knows what Google Analytics is all about, many of the people know what are backlinks, some of the people knows what a Google profile is, and some are wandering around ads. So the major thing which I have noticed in digital marketing for starters is that people know what digital marketing is, people know what are the aspect of SEO is, people know what are the benefits of running the ads is, but they are not very much clear about that what should they do. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the whole process step by step that will help you to understand the whole SEO journey and how digital marketing process actually works. So the very first part of digital marketing is stage 1. Stage 1 is the introduction part. So this is the very initial phase of the project when you get a new lead. Okay. So let's say for example there is some customer who wants to do some branding or some type of advertisement from your agency. So the very first step would be team introduction. So team introduction is a very important part of between a client and a digital marketing agency. So basically, let's say for example there are 4 people in the team of your agency, and there are some 5 people in the team of client's agency. So there should be someone who can be the connecting link between the agency and the client. Because see, in your team some of the people will be doing some of the things, and then on the client side some of the people will be doing their activities. So there has to be some middle path who can take the updates from the client to the agency and to and fro. So the second point is one point of contact, establishing between client and agency. Now the third aspect is Google call. So once the lead is converted, once the client is interested to work with your agency, once you have finalized who is going to be the the middle part of that between the agency and the client. So the next steps comes is the Google call. So on the Google call, what you can do is you can basically take the overall idea about what are the goals of your clients are, and apart from that you can build rapport, you can have introductions, you can share them your reporting format, you can ask them what format they will prefer. So see, clients have a variety. Sometimes they will know something more, sometimes they won't be much techy, and your report should cater from client to client. So once the Google call is done, then we go to the next step, which is taking the access of their website, their cPanel, their Google Analytics account, their Google My Business account, their Google Search Console account, and all the XYZ parameters which we know that are important from SEO perspective and from digital marketing point of view. Then the next step comes is, so see, now you have understood the client, now you have introduced your team with the client, now you know what are their goals are, and on the Google call you also finalize about the taking the access and all that stuff, right? So now the next step would be to create a task sheet. So based on whatever goals your client has. Then once the task list setup is done, so now what you will do is you will create a folder inside Intermind's Gmail ID, and whatever the client name is, you will put that client inside that Google Drive, and in that file you will keep everything, their credentials, their passwords, their files, their brand logos, images, XYZ, whatever things will come down the line. So this was the introduction part, like the agency got the lead, you did the introduction part, you took the access of their credentials, and so this is the introduction for any project you take up, whether it's your freelancing project, whether it's your company project, any project. So this is the very first initial phase of any digital marketing project. Now the step 2 is setting up the client's account. So the very first is Google Analytics. Okay, so Google Analytics with respect to Google. So this you need to set up. Then comes the Google Search Console. Then comes the Google My Business. Then comes link Google Analytics with Google Search Console. And after that you need to confirm whether the sitemap.xml file is configured or not. You need to configure and see about robots.txt file is configured or not. Then you need to check for the redirection part. So let's say for example there are websites which open from http://www.xyzdomain.com and there are some websites which open HTTPS. So your role here will be to create a website with SSL certificate so that the redirection part is taken care of. So this is the stage 2 setup. These are the essential for any digital marketing project. So Google Analytics, it will help you to track the visitors on the website, or which pages they are visiting to, what are the most visited pages, how many time they are spending on the website. So these things are taken care by the Google Analytics. Then comes the Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is somewhat related to Google Analytics only. So basically Google Analytics will tell you the details about how many visitors came to your website, for how many time they came, for which pages they went to. But Google Search Console will give you the brief idea about what search queries they used, from which locations people are coming, what keywords they are using, how much traffic is coming to your website through Google searches. So Google Search Console take care about that. And also GSC is also considered for keeping the track of your robots.txt file. So whatever bots are crawling on your website, it is because of Google Search Console. Then comes sitemap, which sitemap is basically a file which contains list of all your pages. And so this is something you tell Google that these are the pages my website has and I want to make them crawl. Okay. Then SSL certificate, which you can take from Google, GoDaddy, any third-party software. So this was all about how you're gonna keep track about the setup part of your website. Now the next part is social media. If your client is opting for a social media, so the very first step for social media will be set up their profile. So you must be knowing that Facebook has a business page, Instagram has a business page, LinkedIn has a company page, and Twitter does not have any business account. So the normal account acts as a business account only. So the first step would be to set up the page. Then the next step would be to configure the settings for the specific page. So let's say for example in case of Facebook, you must have noticed that they have a chat messenger, they have a feature to set up date and time on what message should be given to the person who sends the message. For LinkedIn, you can set up the hashtags, you can put the company address, you can put their website URL, XYZ stuff. So then the next step would be, so let's say for example you have a Facebook page. So there is a team of people working in an agency, so you can assign the page roles to those business pages. One can be admin, one can be content writer, one can be moderator, one can look into the analytics. So based on that you can share the access. Then the next step comes is tracking the performance. So let's say for example you are doing social media for some client. Okay, so tracking the performance becomes very essential. So the format which you will be post, it comes under social media calendar. Okay, so social media calendar is basically a list of columns which has the date, time, post content, post caption, and the banner content. So whatever things you are going to basically post on the social media. So once that thing is done, so this basically covers up the whole social media part. Now the next stage comes is the SEO. So now we have done the introduction with the team. Now we have get the setup. Now comes the action part, SEO. So basically search engine optimization. So I have heard many definitions to SEO, but for me it's like using the right keywords for the right people to get the quality leads. This is what SEO is for me. So when you start with the SEO, the first step would be website audit. So this process is basically finding the issues on the website, what improvements you can do, what other things you can do on the website from SEO perspective. So basically, if the content is meeting if the keywords are not in place, so you can map the right keywords. So website audit is basically finding the flaws in the website and make those flaws as the future task for you and your team. Then the next step would be finding the competitors. So this is a very essential step because when you are doing the SEO. So the reason why you need to find the competitors keywords, because see, you have your client has started SEO now, but your competitors must be doing SEO from a long time. So basically, let's say for example, you have some website which is related to furniture. Okay, so let's say for example, somebody searches buy furniture in Mumbai. So you must have seen first to 5 links which comes on the Google search page, right? So those websites will become the competitors for your clients. So finding competitors keywords is very important. Then once the keywords you have figured it out, what you need to do is you need to map those keywords to the pages on the website of your client's website. Okay, then the next step would be to create the meta tags. So once the meta tags are live, what you need to do is you need to go for the optimizing images. So optimizing images is basically reducing the image size but keeping the quality same. So there are a few online tools for that. If you want, I'll leave the link of those tools in the description. Then once the images are optimized, the next step would be to create the alt tags. So alt tags are basically keywords which you are targeting for that particular page. So for example, for Google is text friendly, right? Google does not understand images. So it's like for Google, images are like the black box. So to make those images readable to the Google, we use alt tags. So this is the main reason why we use alt tags with the keywords on that particular page. Then once the image alt tags are done, then you will go for the H1 tags. So H1 tags is basically the heading of that particular page. So the format by which robot.txt bots crawl your page. So first is the URL, then it goes to title tag, then it goes to meta description, then comes the H1 tag. So the idea behind on page is that use those keywords in all these parameters, so that when Google is crawling that particular page, so it should be able to understand that what the page is all about. So consider keyword is like the fragrance of your page. So the more you use it and the effectively you use it, Google will understand in a better way. Okay, so once the H1 tags are done, then comes the content adding part. So there are few pages which have more content, let's say for example blog pages, and then there are few pages which have less content but they are important. So let's say for example about us pages, contact us pages, and sometimes there are few services pages which has the material which is required, but to make them crawl, the content is less. So in that scenario, how you will increase the content for that particular page? So there are few tricks. You can put FAQs, you can put accordions and add that extra content. You can put hidden text inside the accordions. You can put text over images. So these are basically the tricks to increase the content on the same page without increasing the page length. So Google loves content, right? So by this method we are giving the Google content. In this content we are supposed to use the keywords, so that we will obviously do. So the whole ideology behind on page is that to put more and more content on the page, but not just put it, it should be meaningful and it should give some return value to the customer, because the person will come only one time to your page. So if the person doesn't find any value in that, they are not going to come again. So this is the very reason giving the return value is very important. Then the next part is schema tags. So basically meta tags are title, description. So this is more about what the page is about. But schema tags is basically it's an indirect way to tell the Google that I have these many list of things on my page. So let's say for example, you might have noticed that when you order something online, so there are some websites for food. So they have their ratings, they have their stars, they have their reviews. So for us, text is enough to understand what the page is all about. But for Google, it requires programmatic schema tags. So in that schema tags, you can mention that okay, this is the ratings, this is the food. So let's say for example there are two websites, one with the schema tags and one without the schema tags. So the websites which has the schema tags will be given more preference in ranking as compared to other websites. So this is the very reason schema tags are important. Once the schema tags are done, then you will move for keyword interlinking. So this is quite tricky, so I want you to pay more attention here. So basically keyword interlinking is basically, let's say for example you have a page related to selling soft toys. So the keyword is teddy bear, so brown teddy bear soft toys near me. So this is the target keyword for that particular page. So people who will be visiting on Google, right, or typing teddy bear soft toy near me. So we want that our page should rank. So in order to rank that page, what we'll need to do is we'll need to use that keyword with the landing page and we'll need to hyperlink it. So let's say for example you wrote a blog, okay, so the blog is all about teddy bear's features, sizes, brands, everything. So in that particular blog, when you are using that keyword teddy bear, soft toy teddy bear near me, so inside that keyword you need to put that landing page where you are going to take the user and from there they will make an online purchase. So this is why keyword interlinking is very important. Once keyword interlinking is done, then you will go for optimizing the page speed. So there are many ways to optimize the page speed. At the on-page level, the very initial phase is to simplify the code. So basically minify the code, HTML, CSS, jQuery, use lazy loader, remove the ad skips which are not important on the pages, just put on the landing pages. So there are many aspects to optimizing page speed, and for that we'll have a separate video, but for now just understand the flow what I am trying to convey here. So once the page optimization is done, then you will go for blogs. So this is more or less similar to keyword interlinking. So the idea here is, see, whatever services your client is selling, nobody is searching about them, but yeah, people have questions for those services. So the main idea is to write those blogs around those questions which people are looking for, and in those blogs put that keyword, and inside that keyword hyperlink that service page, so that when the blogs are ranking for the search queries, your service page will also rank. And this is how you get the leads, through blogs. So you must have noticed that why all the company pages are writing blogs. So now you know the secret. Blogs are the key to get online conversion. Then these are few of the steps, but if you want to learn more about on-page tricks and tips, so I would recommend read blogs. So if you want the list of blogs, comment down. Then when the on-page is done, so this is stage 3 still going on. So the very page. Now we will go towards off page. So basically what off page is all about. So you must have noticed people say backlinks, create more backlinks. So what backlink is basically is, so let's say for example you have a website of 10 pages, and each page is going to some other page on the same website. So this is called as internal link. So basically the traffic is coming from other page only, but if somebody is coming to your website from other websites, so let's say for example you have a WordPress blog, okay, and you wrote some blog there and you hyperlink that blog with the domain name which is hosted on HTML, okay. So basically the people who are coming to your website from other platforms, those links are called as backlinks. So if somebody, suppose you posted something on social media, right, so if somebody is coming to your social media, so that link will become the backlink. Suppose you have registered your website on Google My Business, so people who are coming from the third party places, those links become your backlinks. So inside backlinks, I have been doing many type of backlinks so far. So the most effective which I found is, first is the Quora answers, because see, we want to rank our blogs. So Quora is the best place to get the answers for the queries we are looking for. Then comes Google My Business post. So see, when somebody is searching for any service in their local area, so Google My Business is something that it ranks. Even if your website is not ranking, your Google My profile will rank. So let's say for example you have 10 services, and if you are using people who know Google My Business, who have worked in the backend part, so it has a feature where you can list your services. So consider GMB as your mini website. You can list the services, you can post updates, you can put an event, you can release new updates there. So first is the Quora, then is Google My Business, then people coming through social media ads, third-party websites like WordPress, Ubersuggest. So these are the places where you can do the backlink. So now how backlink works? So there is a one term called as DA. DA is basically domain authority. So what domain authority is? It's a combined score out of 100, which is a Google's parameter to what we say to measure the authenticity of a website. So there are many factors for domain authority. So total number of pages the website has, how old the website is, how many visitors are coming to the website, how many backlinks that website has. So considering all these parameters, there are many parameters, but I have just listed few. So considering all these parameters, Google assign a score to each website. So this is the DA score. So the whole idea behind backlink is to increase the DA of the website. So higher the DA, the chances of ranking the website will be better. So this is all about backlinks. Now comes the Google My Business profile. So this is for the people who doesn't know what GMB is. GMB is basically whenever you order something from your restaurant. So whatever tabs you see, nearby restaurant or nearby salon or anything which you search nearby on your devices. So the box which you see on that Google search engine page, this is basically the GMB. So from an agency point of view, what you can do for a GMB? Set up the profile, logos, images, even in the name you can put the target keyword. You can upload the images with the alt text. Nowadays what you can do is you can put a geotag behind that image and upload that inside the GMB. So the chances of ranking the profile will get better and better. Then you can list services inside the GMB. You can post updates on the GMB, any recent, suppose you have a restaurant, so any recent dish you launched or anything special for the day. So all sort of updates you can put there. Then comes optimize business name with respect to keyword. So let's say for example your shop name is Sweet Teas, right? And it's a bake shop. So you can use the name as Sweet Teas Bake Shop. So what you're trying to do here is that, see, nobody will search for sweet teas, right? People will search for bake shop. So the idea behind using the keyword with the name is that the profile should rank. So this is the stage 4 GMB. Now comes the stage 5, which is ads. And this is one of my favorite part because this is more like playing. So whenever you are running any ad campaign for any client, so what you need to do is first you need to find where the target audience is hanging out. So basically, let's say it completely depends on the type of the service and end goal you are expecting for that particular campaign. So let's say for example there is a client who is education specific and who is looking for students in a teenage category. So Facebook will be the best option, Instagram will be the best option. But if there is some client who is selling B2B services, so for that you can go for LinkedIn because LinkedIn has those type of people, right? So once your the place is finalized, whether it's Google Ads, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's any social media or Quora. So the second step would be the targeting part. So basically what story you are trying to convey through your ads. So whether it's the banner, whether it's the ad copy, whether it's the headline, description, whether it's a landing page, or even the thank you message of that landing page. So everywhere the story should be seen, because if let's say for example you see some ad, okay, the ad related to some electronic product, it's related to suppose any Android mobile, and when you click on that Android mobile you see a Nokia phone. So this is what the logic behind ad is, that the story which you are trying to convey through your ads, it should be constant, okay, whether it's a banners, headline, or anywhere, the whole ad campaign should tell the same story. So once that place is finalized, then you look for the ad copies, banners, the story should be the same. After that, the major goal is the CTA, like what you're expecting from the client to do. Like do you want them to purchase something, do you want them to share their contact information so that you can email them your product updates or any vouchers or any brochures or something. So finalizing that part is very critical in any ad campaign. And the last and the final part is the budget. So let's say for example you are running an ad campaign on Google search ads, okay. So it is considered that search ads is costly as compared to Google display ads. So let's say for example if you have a client who has good budget and they are ready to pay more, so you can always go for search ads, because whatever leads you will capture from there, that will be real time and the quality will be really great. But if the budget just want the brand awareness and they don't want more leads and the budget is also limited, then you can go for Google display ads. So it completely depends, like Facebook is not great to get the leads or Google is not great to get the leads. It's basically your goal and whatever your story is for that particular ad, that really matters, because this is like the combination. So nobody can judge like which platform is better to get the leads. It completely depends on the end goal and the story which you are telling to your target audience. So that's all. So if you see from the beginning, so the first was target audience, then was ad copies, ad banners, ad format. So what type of ad format you are showing, whether it's image, whether it's video, whether it's just the text ad, then the end goal, and comes the cost. So this was the whole brief idea about what digital marketing process looks like. So just to sum up the whole video, stage 1 was introduction, where we introduced our team with the client and the agency. We took the details from them, like whatever accounts they are using. So this was all the introduction part, taking more and more awareness about what we are supposed to do for the client. Step 2 was setting up the account. So setting up the account is basically taking all the credentials from them and starting working on them. So this is like the foundation of any SEO project. Then the step 3 was SEO, which is on page and off page. On page is basically the things you do on the website page to improve its ranking. Off page is the things which you do outside the website, registering the website, creating backlinks, all that comes under off page. Now Google My Business, it's not on page, it's not off page. For me it's somewhere in between. So if you search something on Google, but even if your website is not ranking in the initial phase, but Google profile will rank. So in that Google profile you can link your website. Then the stage 5 comes the ad. So this is the very later phase. So if I explain you from a time point of view, so this introduction part should not take more than a week. The setup part takes a week. The on-page part it's a continuous process. So SEO for on-page and off-page both are interdependent. So let's say for example, in the first month you will just cover 3 points, and in the first month you will create 20 backlinks by using directory listings. Then in the next month you will move towards next 4 points. So it's like an interdependent task. So for a new website which is very new and completely fresh, best case it takes 6 months for a website to rank on the first page. And backlinks, it's an ongoing process. More the backlinks you create, more the quality links you create, the better the chances of that website, of ranking of that website will improve. Then Google My Business should not take much time. Actually you can set this GMP along with the stage 2 part. And ads is for the clients who are very impatient or who have a good budget and they urgently want the leads. So yeah, this was all digital marketing process, and I hope I was able to guide you in some way. And if you have any queries or something, you can leave your doubts in the comments.